Well, let's get into our review tonight, guys.
Nice.
Of the Nativity and Black album that Eric chose. I was going to say too, I almost want to say like when we do these albums, like there should be a requirement that you have to like pick a favorite song or two or something, just so we know that you actually listen to it. Yeah. You're not just coming on and going like, yeah, that was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
I can tell you my favorite song on the album.
What's your favorite on this one?
It's the Children of the Grave.
Oh yeah,
the White Zombie.
Yeah, the White Zombie version.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you listen to it, Dryden?
Yeah. Have you heard? I think you sent it. The Lamb of God one.
Yeah. I heard that one. That one's really good.
I was talking to Bodie. He said he doesn't like the way Randy's singing at the beginning. Yeah, and I was like, I think it's cool. I guess that he's trying he's trying to fit the song. You know, he's not trying to like do his. But then he kind of switches to it too. He switches back to like his.
I mean, honestly, too, I'm sure that he wants to branch out a little bit and not just scream all the time. Like,
you heard it on that newer record. He's like doing some clean parts.
I don't blame him. It gets.
I think my favorite song on here is that Sepultura. Symptom of the Universe
that's probably. Cover. I'm with you on that.
I knew that before I even listened to the full record. But I just love that cover,
dude. And I also like how at the end, like, so I love that song Symptom of the Universe anyway, because it flips the heavy metal ballad backwards, right? Like instead of starting soft and like pretty and getting heavy, it starts heavy and ends pretty. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I love what Sepultura does with it, because Max wasn't going to try to sing like Ozzy does over the original. So they do fucking like classical guitar solo. Like it's almost like Spanish guitar. It's fucking sick. It's like and it works so well because the lick itself is kind of like Spanish guitar. That Sabbath, fuck. They had so many great like, not just heavy riffs, but just like so many like changes or like fluff or like some of these instrumental tracks. Like they had some really killer, just like pretty songs too, you know?
Yeah.
I will say too.
What about Joey? I want to know what Joey's favorite track on the album.
Joey, fucking go off for a minute.
My favorite track is the White Zombie one as well.
Yeah.
But I also like, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but The Ugly Kid Joe, and then also Typo Negative. Those are probably my top three.
Typo Negative is the absolute perfect band to cover that song.
Yeah, that was the perfect.
It's the perfect way to end the album, I think. Too.
Yeah. I will say too.
Before we keep going here, I have a question, because I feel like it would kind of frame our conversation here. Do you guys think, like, what makes a good tribute? Is it faithfulness to the original, or is it creative reinterpretation?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, I do too.
Because, like, it's clear when you listen to all these bands, like, they don't all sound the same, but they're all, like, clearly influenced by Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would argue that this is it might be the best tribute album out there. Yeah. Because I feel like it really represents the original, but yet you can tell each one of those bands who it is playing.
That reminds me, one of the best choices, and I'm not the hugest Biohazard fan, but that opening track, them doing After Forever, that song is so perfect for them just because of who they are as a band. And that lick, that fucking like riff, and they fucking nail it, and it sounds so heavy, that down tune, and you know, it's just like I love that, like the lead in that and it just works so well with their style. Like a great opening track, perfect opener. but then like if I'm gonna give it any criticism, like the Ozzy with Therapy, Iron Man is like it's like mediocre. And then also like I don't really fuck with the Bullring Brummies song.
Yeah.
And maybe I honestly don't know that I really love that song, The Wizard. Because I think it's like when I was listening to it, he's like, everyone's happy when a wizard walks by.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? That's a dumbass lyric.
I thought you were gonna say your favorite song was the Faith No More War Pigs.
Well,
live.
I mean, that's definitely high on my list because I like as badass as that song is, I think that version is just like
oh yeah, I was listening to it and he's like he starts like forgetting the lyrics at parts.
Goes,
like,
at one point he goes
yeah. Yeah.
But then he does. It's so great. Like when he says the part about Satan laughing spreads, he's like, oh,
that's what I'm talking about.
He starts going into these like hysterics that are so fucking funny.
I don't like live versions of things.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just. So
I'm not
good,
a big fan. So like that's a good cover, but it's just live recording. So.
Yeah, I understand.
Though,
I understand where you're
more,
coming
though.
from, but just Patton's antics in that alone. I was watching a clip of him and he was being interviewed by Henry Rollins, and Rollins was telling this story about like watching Faith No More play in Italy, and he's like, and like the show started, and he's like, you walked out on stage eating a hot dog, and you like walked up to, and I was like, it just like. He's like, I'd never seen anyone do that like before. Like you just walked up to the stage and you're like eating a hot dog and you're like chewing and you go into the mic. Want a bite? No, Patton's an interesting character. We're gonna play some Patton shit in a few minutes, but like this interview with Rollins was good because he was talking about how it kind of like makes you understand like. First of all, he wasn't an original member of Faith No More. So I don't think that music is as near and dear to his heart as some of his other projects are. But also, he's like, I fell out of love with the band thing a long time ago because it's like, it's just such a fucking shit show. But anyway.
Do you know that The Wizard, I know you said you didn't like it, but just the Bullring Brummies or whatever, that's like... the concept behind that band is kind of cool though.
Yeah.
And they're all great fucking like Bill Ward's in it, the drummer from Sabbath, original drummer, and then
Geezer Butler. Yeah.
But also
what I read was Brummies is like slang for people from Birmingham or whatever. So
okay.
It was all guys from that area, the super group or whatever.
Got you.
And the band formed just for that one song.
Nice. That's pretty dope. So I didn't know. So Halford's from Birmingham too.
Yeah. Judas Priest is from Birmingham.
Okay, that makes sense. I will one more shout out to the mighty Al Jorgensen too.
Yeah,
honestly, the I love that fucking Supernaut remix and the samples that he uses. He's like virtually every record screams the message. It's fun to take a trip. Put acid in your veins. But also the fucking COC song. That song, like I love fucking Pepper and everything he does, but like that.
You love cock?
Yeah, I do. I love it wholeheartedly with all my heart and soul.
Oh wow! Here comes out the honest.
Here comes
COC,
the wrestler.
Yeah, you know COC, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Corrosion of Conformity.
Yeah.
I used to actually have a Cox, like Fighting Cox baseball cap, and it just says Cox on the back.
Yeah.
Anyway, good album, good choice, Eric.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything additional you wanted to say about it?
Not really.
Well, I was telling you when we were talking about your dad, that was his like revelation that N.I.B. was Nativity in Black.
Yeah, that was just revealed to me. I didn't know that.
Your love for me is just
So
My name is Lucifer. Please take my hand.
yeah.
I thought that was a rumor that it just stood for that. I thought there was some other.
Well, you tell me what it stands for.
Who knows?
Well,
what
I'm going to
really
look
means.
it up now because I thought I heard
Yeah.
that was a rumor.
It means nasty internal bile. It means
Yeah.
nice immigrant babysitter.
There you go.
Okay. Here is Google's answer. The title N.I.B. for Black Sabbath song is an inside joke. While many assume it stands for Nativity in Black, it actually originated from a nickname for drummer Bill Ward's beard, which Geezer jokingly referred to as N.I.B.
Huh.
What does NIB stand for, though?
That is a good question.
How dare they keep us in the dark like that?
Yeah, I know.
They're like, hey, actually, it's this. Anyway.
Oh, according to
on.
Butler, originally the title was N.I.B., which was Bill's beard. When I wrote N.I.B., I couldn't think of a title for the song, so I just called it N.I.B. after Bill's beard. To make it more intriguing, I put punctuation marks in there to make it N.I.B. By the time it got to America, they translated it to Nativity in Black.
Fact check, boy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Love it.
The rumor continues.
I did throw together this quick article about the forces behind this album, and there's some interesting shit in here, so I'll try to sail through this real quick too. So apparently this album led to the tour that followed.
Oh,
Got you.
So Black Sabbath, the tribute album that led to their comeback. I remember at some point in the 90s, Gene Simmons was on MTV Headbangers Balls. Kiss Headbangers Balls. I can't get cock off the brain. Kiss was going to headline a big festival, I believe, in South America. I don't know what that's from, but anyway. The host asked, who's singing for them these days? Oh, and Black Sabbath is on the bill. The host asked, who's singing for them these days? Simmons, at a rare loss for words, didn't seem to remember. That's kind of how it was with Black Sabbath in the mid-'80s and early '90s, and you can't blame Gene. It's not hyperbole to say Black Sabbath changed popular music in 1970. With the release of their self-titled debut, sure, they were hard rock bands before Sabbath. There were hard rock bands before Sabbath, but Sabbath represents ground zero for heavy metal, a genre that still thrives today. But by the late 80s, guitarist Tony Iommi was the only constant in the group. They had an almost comical revolving door of singers, bassists, and drummers. I remember hearing that Black Sabbath was playing at a club in New York City with Motorhead and Morbid Angel, and you could still get tickets the day of the show. Black Sabbath had lost their mojo. To make matters worse, pundits were saying, not for the first or last time, that heavy metal was on the decline. Alternative music ruled the charts, the airwaves, and the hearts and minds of young rock fans, or at least that's how the narrative went. It was really just wishful thinking from people who would have liked metal to go away. Metallica was massively popular and still riding on the success of the Black Album. They had not yet released The Controversial Load. The Controversial Load. That should be another one. They should make another album called The Controversial Load.
yeah.
Pantera shockingly topped the Billboard charts with Far Beyond Driven, and nearly every major alternative rock band, Alice in Chains, Jane's Addiction, Nine Inch Nails, Soundgarden, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Primus, was influenced by Black Sabbath, even if those artists weren't heavy metal per se. Metal may have been on the ropes, but the early 90s was the perfect time for a Black Sabbath revival. Bob Gepardi must have sensed this. Bob is the CEO of Concrete Marketing. Do you remember Concrete? A branding marketing
name.
Yeah, they were behind Pantera before they were I think before they were signed, maybe. Marketing advertising company that's worked with artists across all genres, including Jimmy Buffett, Bruce Springsteen, and Shania Twain, to name a few, but they are most well known for their work in hard rock and heavy metal. And in full disclosure, it's where I landed my first music industry job, the guy who wrote this. As the associate editor of their industry tip sheet, Foundations Forum. Do you remember Foundations Forum?
I do.
That was like a big thing when I was hired there. I was excited to learn that these were the guys who produced Nativity in Black, a tribute to Black Sabbath, an album that I loved. Nativity in Black was released in the fall of '94 before I started with the company. To mark the 30-year anniversary, I reached out to my former boss, Bob, to ask him about how the album came together. Like many great ideas, this one came after several after work drinks in a bar in New York City, he told me. Back in 1993, when we started working on the record, heavy metal started to be considered passé as far as mainstream was concerned. Bands like Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Alice in Chains, who came out of the Seattle scene, were getting huge. The beauty of doing a Black Sabbath record was that even these alternative bands who didn't want to be classified as heavy metal still owed a lot to Black Sabbath and cited them as a major influence. Even Nirvana, who did not want to be classified as a metal band, had very apparent Sabbath influences, which Kurt Cobain did admit. Nativity in Black had some of the most aggressive and coolest bands of the time, paying tribute to Black Sabbath. The album focused exclusively on the original lineup: Tony Iommi, Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward. White Zombie, Corrosion of Conformity, Biohazard, Sepultura, Therapy, Typo Negative, and Megadeth all covered Sabbath classics. It also had previously released covers by 1000 Homo DJs featuring Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, and Ministry's Al Jorgensen, and Faith No More. Former Judas Priest singer Rob Halford sang a track. So did former Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson. I actually kind of dug the Bruce Dickinson version of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath.
Yeah.
I dug it better than I liked Bullring Brummies anyway.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like a good song for Bruce. Because Bruce has like a dramatic flair to his singing.
I was about to say, yeah.
He's like Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. It just like worked for him, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so most of the bands were clients of Concrete, but there was one big band that got away. Ironically, they were managed by Concrete. Pantera, not being able to get permission from Elektra Records to include it to be on honestly pissed me off. It's probably the biggest disappointment I had with the whole project. Happily, Pantera's Electric Funeral was eventually included on 2000's sequel, Nativity in Black 2. So the first one came out in the 90s. Bob was also able to get 3 of the 4 original members on the album. Ozzy sang Iron Man, backed by the Irish band Therapy. Bassist Geezer Butler and drummer Bill Ward, meanwhile, played together for the first time in a decade as part of the Bullring Brummies, which included Rob Halford on vocals for The Wizard. I had a very strong relationship with Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne, Chaparty says. Before I even started working on the Nativity project, I reached out to Sharon and made sure that she and Ozzy were on board with me doing it. They were and offered their support. They also wanted very much to be part of the project, and it was Sharon who suggested Ozzy singing with Therapy. That turned out to be an easy collaboration. Getting The Wizard recorded was much more of a challenge. Once we had Ozzy, I really wanted to have the rest of Black Sabbath involved as well. Rob Halford had a great relationship with all the Black Sabbath guys, and we organized having him do the lead vocal on The Wizard. We could not get Tony Iommi on the final recording of the track, even though he did a guitar part for it. His manager at the time would not give me permission to use it. I was really happy with the way this track turned out, even without Iommi, and it's probably the one I'm the most proud of. It's the one I like the least. So 3 years I'm such a dick. 3 years later, Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, and Geezer Butler reunited as Black Sabbath to headline their first Ozfest tour in the summer of 1997. Did the tribute help get the ball rolling? Chaparty says, I know they all were impressed with how successful the record was. We earned gold record status in several territories, including the U.S., and received a Grammy nomination. Maybe in some small way, the album got the guys thinking about Sabbath again in a positive light, which may have helped.
The cool thing I mentioned to you is a lot of people don't realize that Rob Halford sang in Black Sabbath for a couple shows when they were having Ozzy was having some problems.
That's cool.
Oh, well.
Also, I can't believe you don't like the Megadeth cover of Paranoid. I think that's like one of the best.
You don't like it?
I'm not a big fan of it.
Really?
Sucks. I'm totally with Eric tonight.
You are?
Have you heard Typo Negative's cover of Paranoid?
Mm-mm.
No, I have not.
You haven't?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. You know what you really got to hear though is Dillinger Escape Plans. Have you heard the Dillinger one, Dryden?
They did Paranoid? Which record is that on?
It's a B-side from the Under the Running Board one, and they do like a fucking.
Oh, I have heard that.
They do in the middle of it. They do a break that's like almost like swing jazz. They're like, because I'm frowning all the time. People say, oh, I'm insane because I'm frowning all the time. They do this like almost like a fucking. It's fucking killer. Anyway, speaking of the Dillinger Escape Plan, I brought that up so we could segue into this. Wait, hold on. Why don't you like the Megadeth cover of Paranoid?
Because Dave's singing on it.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds. Dave's voice sounds repetitive in it, and it sounds more repetitive than Ozzy's does to me.
I like the way they sped it up. You should hear the Typo Negative one because they do the opposite. They slow it like way down. It's like jung, jung,
See, I wasn't a big
jung,
fan
jung.
of Megadeth when they did that Alice Cooper covers either.
Yeah, Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
They actually did that for a movie, right? Was it like Shocker or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
They did that for a horror movie. I remember that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like Dave's covers. I thought the Paranoid one was great. And I like the way that like at the end the drummer doesn't stop and they're like Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah.